Hello everybody.
Hello.
Jason and Rebecca here at Mama's Treasures. Thank you for joining us. We're finally getting around to doing this Q&A video.
Yes, it's been a long time. It's been busy though.
Yes, and you have pestered me a few times and I'm not ready. I'm not prepared yet. So we'll just get it done. We are here at the old house at the moment. It is Boxing Day. Yep. And we have finished packing up some of the stuff to take back today. This old girl just keeps on giving. She's full of surprises every time we come.
Not big money worth surprises, but surprises. We did some number crunching the other day, this last week, or is it this week, where days are kind of mixing together. And it's looking like it's not going to be at all profitable.
No.
Probably a money loss, but what do you do? You wanted to try this out, and it's you can travel. We love to travel, so you can travel. We like going to the US, but we haven't been able to. The last was our 25th wedding anniversary this year, 2020 January.
Yeah, we were so glad that we actually went before our 25th. We were in Kona in January 2020.
Kona and Hilo, the big Hawaiian Big Islands, and now and currently the volcano is now. We were looking for some lava. Any signs there's some steam vents, but there was no flowing lava. It ended in 2018, and now there is been explosion or eruptions again. And I actually looked this morning, and I think they said the crater depth is over 500 feet deep, filled with lava. They said 39 feet in 24 hours, I think, of lava.
So pretty cool.
It's interesting. Hopefully everyone's safe there.
Yes.
There was some destruction of very nice places and homes. So hopefully nobody loses their home. I'm not sure where that's at right now, but
yeah. So I've got the questions on my phone. So if you don't know what we're talking about, I think it was in November, we mentioned on one of our videos, if you have any questions for us, just to leave them in the comments. And we're finally getting around to doing that now. So just in no particular order, I'm just going to go through them here. So this is kind of a long one. There's might be a couple questions in here. This is from 3 months ago. I'm so sorry. Blue 41E says, love this. Thank you for documenting this cool idea. Also came over from Delilah's channel. Hi, Gammy and Papum. Hello. If you don't know what Blue 41E is talking about, Delilah at Lucky's Life is our daughter, and Zach obviously is our son-in-law, and Eloise and Theodore are our beautiful grandkids. And she has a vlog channel where she does lifestyle and mommy videos. They came to visit, and there was a lot of her subscribers who came over to see what she was talking about when she linked our channel. And so this is where Blue 41E comes from. And she says, I have so many questions. Was it just one owner since 1946? Do we know around what year the owner left to live in a home? I would guess the 70s. And sorry if you mentioned this already, what are your plans as far as layout, blueprint, style for the flip? Maybe you can address that in a separate video. If you haven't already, sorry it's late. I'm half asleep and will re-watch again in the morning. Keep it up. So thank you so much for the comment. So first question here is, was it just one owner since 1946?
So from what we understand from the neighbor is there was another owner prior. Actually, the lady that owned it currently, she inherited it from her parents.
Yes.
So, and I believe her parents bought it from somebody else, is what I understand from the neighbors. Initial person that lived here, I think, was maybe 40s to 50s. And then the person we bought it from would have been from 50s to till she passed away. And then lady that inherited it, probably 20 plus years. We just found evidence of a gas line inspection from 99. So that'd be 21 years. And then we understand from the neighbor there was 25 years of nobody living here. So
Right.
I assume the gas meter would have been installed by someone still living here, but I don't know.
Yeah, so the estate, it's an estate home that we purchased. The estate is of the daughter to these owners that we're talking about. So she would have inherited it from her parents, and the estate is from that last surviving daughter. So yeah, so you've already covered that question. Vacant probably since the 80s, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. Like maybe they still maintained it. We've heard lots of interesting stories from the neighbor. Nobody was living here, but they would come here once in a while and spend the night.
Yeah, I guess there was a family farm nearby, and maybe this was just the town residence where they would come for winters, or I'm not exactly sure.
Well, there's 2 washing machines in the bathroom, and
Yeah.
apparently they would come here and do laundry, but the town thought the water was off, and they would ask them because I think they seen consumption, or they thought they were using water, and they would say no, the water's off apparently. And we found evidence of clothesline hung in the attic, so we
Yeah.
assumed that they washed clothes here. They snuck to town maybe, washed the clothes and hung them in the attic to dry. I don't know.
But they may have used snow water.
Well,
because-
the water was on apparently.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. But
there's evidence of snow water.
we
as
did
well.
see melted snow water and dated, like in containers and stuff.
That
So
might have been after the water was turned off.
maybe, yeah. So we don't actually completely know. We live 2 hours away, so we don't know anybody in this town, and so it's actually kind of good that we don't. We're
Yeah.
kind of detached from the whole thing, which makes it easier to clean the house out.
Yeah, and prior to buying the home was only, or seeing the home was only the second time we've been here. Prior to that, we came to the area for a niece's wedding. So other than that, we have not been here before.
Yeah. And then the last question that she has here is, she or he, sorry. What are the plans as far as layout, blueprint, style for the flip?
Well, no big plans. We wanted to have the home cleaned out
Yeah.
and have it functioning so that the sink works, the washroom works. It's not new, it's all old, it's working, not perfect, but it is, the furnaces is all working. We didn't think we'd get that the old furnace running, but it is running, and it is heating the home, knock on wood so far.
Yeah.
But and it's nice and cozy in here.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of winter.
Actually having to peel layers off when you come in.
Yeah. So there's dreams we love to, well, I'm not sure if it'd be dreams essentially, but there's thoughts.
And potential. There's
There's
potential.
potential, yeah. The neighbors want the land because they'd like to expand this lot to their own liking, to build a shop or whatever. But if we had time and money, it's not the
Yeah.
right time in our lives. We're both working full time, and there's family things to consider going on right now that we're busy with, and
Yeah. And it is 2 hours away.
it's 2 hours away. It is an interesting home. I would love to find a piece of land with bush on it and move this house to that point, sell the lot to the neighbors. I'd love to gut this home completely and spray foam it and make it into a cabin. It's
Yeah.
it'd be really cool. You have a lot of original 46 windows and frames. You'd have to probably update them somewhat. For a cabin, maybe not. We also talked about gutting it and putting it on a foundation right here and doing like a VRBO. It's kind of a cool town. It has kind of a Christmas theme to it. We could make it all a 20 or a 365 day of the year.
Christmas VRBO?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat.
You could finish the old inside out like a cabin look to it, to pine boards or log boards, so you can buy those and all. And it'd be a pile of work, and we just simply don't have the time to hire it all out, and it would take a good amount of funds.
Yes, it would. So likely we will just end up cleaning out the house of its contents, physically cleaning the home, and selling it the way it is.
It'd be a super inexpensive home for somebody starting out, or working from home. Or if you worked online, you could really live cheap.
The way we took it over was really, there's so many questions unanswered because we didn't know if there was going to be leaky pipes or
heat for 2 years.
Yeah, like so many things could have happened. If any of you are familiar with Saskatchewan winters, and without the heat or water being on here, it could have just been devastating what we would have found in the walls. But we were really just blessed the way that everything turned out. There was one leaky pipe, but yeah, if you want to see the videos that we put out, we'll link the series down below so that you can go check that out. Jason did some vlogging for me while I was at work and he was working here. He graciously put his holidays on hold and came here to work as his holidays this summer.
Yeah,
we couldn't travel anyway.
No, you can't travel anyway.
2020 was probably the best year in that situation to have done this. All right, so the next question is from B. Tanny. That Christmas catalog, I love it so very much. How can we purchase? So again, this is from 2 months ago. And this must have been on one of the videos that I was showing you my sorting station in our garage at home and some of the catalogs that we had been taking home. They are all listed in our eBay now.
Yeah, we've sold some.
Yes, yeah, we've actually sold quite a few. The oldest catalog that we found was from the 50s. I can't exactly remember what year. And the newest was from the 80s. I think 88 or 89. So there again is evidence of no one actually residing here since the 80s. But these people, if you've been watching the series, did not throw anything away. So we had an abundance of catalogs to go through. And I couldn't stomach throwing them out. Some of them were quite water damaged, but the images in those old catalogs were just so cool. And we spent hours and hours taking pictures of them and listing them on eBay. So I will link our eBay store down below for you to go take a look at. A lot of the 50s catalogs are gone already, but there is still some left from the 50s. And a number from the 60s, 70s, and 80s for you to go and look at.
One of each, because this was a home, and they received this year's Eaton's catalogs, some hardware catalogs. Princess Auto, there's a couple of Princess Auto from the 60s. I think it was 67, 62. I'm not sure, somewhere in there. So that's kind of cool too.
There was some Army and Navy ones. I only have one Army and Navy one left. But yeah, just some of the local stores here and just really nice, nostalgic kind of things that you could flip through those catalogs and reminisce about times past.
Well, you get into the 70s and you recognize some of these things that makes you feel old.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to flip through catalogs of the year that you were born. Jason was born, should I say it?
A while back.
Back. We're 70s babies. Yeah, that's how far I'll go. But not just catalogs on our eBay store. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff listed on eBay as well. Some of it is from the home here and some of it from maybe I should say my picks and digs of thrift stores and stuff. But I've really been getting into this vintage.
I did a little picking and digging.
Yeah.
But we just don't have room to do this, and financially it's just not feasible. If we had this product and we didn't have a second home now to maintain. So now it's to property taxes, to heating bills, to everything, water bills. So it's every month that we have this home, it's costing a lot of money, and the rental at the booth. It's a substantial cost per month, and there's no way we can make enough money off of this just to pay for keeping the home and the booth and everything. It's just not. It's not. We've seen it already. It's not profitable. You would need some substantial increase in that, or we're not business. We're not business owners or anything like that. But.
And the house is just sitting here empty the whole time that we're not here. And with us having full-time jobs, it's just not feasible to get here as often as we would like to. So we'll probably end up having the house longer than really we should to make it financially viable for us. Next question is from Emily Genevieve. So far, are you and your family happy you've jumped into this project, and would you do it again? Depends who you ask.
It's the wrong time in our life. And it's so busy. If I could not have a full-time job, then I could focus on working here, staying here for long lengths of time and working on these projects, and you can make it profitable. Then yes, then we could. But
yeah,
I know you enjoy it. You like looking through these things, and there's been lots of interesting finds.
Yeah,
it's probably pretty rare to come across these homes full of old vintage items.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And some of the comments we've had, we had a lady that owns a clothing store. So she came and looked at the products we had. Unfortunately, a lot of them were damaged and torn. But she did say that these aren't vintage; these are antiques. So we have some clothing items that are really, really old, probably early 1900s, somewhere in there.
Yeah. What do you do with that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Like, people like to look at it, but to purchase, really, they wouldn't want to purchase an antique piece of clothing. They would
it's museum items.
Yeah. So would we do it again? Well, I guess maybe consider it. It all depends what scenario we're in and where it would be and how much it would cost. But the interest, for me anyway, is definitely there to do this again. I know I rely a lot on Jason to do most of the heavy labor end of it. So without him, I would not be able to do this.
Well, we went all out with this. We had a hot tub that was sold.
We gave up a lot.
I had a vehicle I loved, and we needed a truck really bad because we really need to stay here because it is so far from home. We found an inexpensive camper to move here so we could sleep in there. So we
didn't want to sleep in the house.
No, it was too full.
It was too full at the beginning, yes.
There's no way. Then there was no heat. There was no running water. So we bought the camper for it. The truck, we had to pull the camper. We needed it. Fortunately, your dad could borrow us a cargo trailer, so we could use the cargo trailer to transport a lot of things back home. And I just recently built a garage, so that garage is supposed to be for other storage, is now for this house storage, all the items in here. So there's a lot of change in our lives to make this happen. And our goal is to try to break even as close as possible. We have made money on the items, not a lot. It has helped cover some of the costs, but the rent was half of what we made just for the booth and everything like that. So and the fees even on eBay and everything are extreme. So they're substantial. We 50% profit. Yeah.
And for all the catalogs, I have free shipping on the catalog specifically. Not everything in the store is free shipping, but shipping is not cheap. And especially when you want to provide a tracking number, you've got to pay a pretty penny to get a tracking number for Canada Post shipping. So,
and you want to be totally honest with the items we have, and try to get pictures of it as is condition, and ship it in packaging that is
safe.
durable, safe,
Yeah.
and not going to damage anything. So there's investment there buying packaging products, and
Yeah.
so it's not to do this full time. It would be fun, but you would definitely probably need another source of income. I'm sure there's people that do this that are a lot better at it than us and know the value of these things maybe better.
Yeah, we were extreme newbies, and we just kind of dived into this with our eyes closed. We have been learning a lot, and people have been so helpful. Your comments have been very, very helpful.
Yeah, like the washer.
Yeah.
Close the lid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it worked. Thank you so much. If ever you think, oh no, I won't type that in, just go for it. Go for it. We need all the help that we can get to give us some tips or any advice going forth. So our next question comes from Sylvia Nankavel. Honestly, I would love to help you with all of this. So cool that you are experiencing someone's personal history. Where is your booth located? Okay, so you've heard Jason mention the booth. We rented a booth at the Vintage Mall YXE. It is located in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, on 33rd Street. Yeah, so they have an Instagram page, and I believe she has a Facebook page as well. And she's always, the owner of the mall is always putting things out on Instagram with new things coming into the mall. And their hours are Thursday through Sunday. And yeah, so we've had to actually change our booth aesthetic completely, like 3 times already.
And that takes a lot of time.
Yes.
Preparing, cleaning stuff. You've been busy with that.
Yeah. So we take the stuff from here home to get sorted and cleaned and then priced and then brought to the booth. So there are some things, like I mentioned, are on eBay, but they're kind of like, the stuff on eBay is more buyer specific. The stuff in the booth is more like everyday items, decor items, and things like that. So there's a lot of vendors in this mall, and we are just one of the booths in the mall. So if you happen to go visit the Vintage Mall YXE, we are booth A. So in our booth, everything with our price tags have the letter A on it, and you'll know that is our booth. So
there's a lot of cool items in that.
Absolutely.
Mall, and they're always changing as well. The vendors do change it up.
Yeah.
But
every time that we go, we try and go at least once a week, but we try and walk around and see what's new and who brought what in, and stuff is always coming and going out of there. It's a really, really neat setup that she's got going on there. Yeah. All right, so the next question comes from Grace. So much stuff, such a small little house. Where would she have shopped, do you think? Is the house in a rural area? And would it have been all catalog shopping, do you think?
Well, there is so much stuff, and it is a small house, but it does have an attic and it does have a basement.
Yeah. So
there was lots of place to put stuff. Shopping local, like it is rural area, but it was a happening place.
It was a happening town in its day. They actually
stores, and everything.
Yeah, they even now they have a hardware store and plenty of restaurants in this little town. We are rural Saskatchewan. We aren't disclosing the name of the town at the moment. Maybe once the house gets put up for sale or something, we will disclose where it's actually located. But just for some privacy issues and things like that, we don't actually want to say the name of the town. But we are in rural Saskatchewan, where this is. So the town itself right now is probably smaller than it was back when this house was built.
It's downsized a lot. The home prices are really reasonable here. If you could work online like so many people do now, if we could do this
Or work
online,
from home.
we could live here. Oh man, it would just be so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Your costs, of course, your fuel, your groceries, that's all gonna be similar. But and land taxes, so it depends what kind of home you buy. But just the purchase of the home the land and the homes here are a lot less expensive, and you do not have to. For some people, even going into Saskatoon, they are driving an hour to go to Saskatoon.
Mm-hmm.
You could live here and work at the local town or city, and just live a whole lot cheaper. You wouldn't be able to drive to Saskatoon because that's quite a distance to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you could live out here for a lot less money, and it's not as busy.
Yes.
It's COVID friendly.
And even like work, a commute, it's not unheard of in Saskatchewan for people to commute an hour one way each day. So 2 hours of driving is not unheard of for people who live in Saskatchewan. But catalog shopping, yes, I think they did do a lot of catalog shopping because it was available.
So they had articles cut out, like the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
There was articles cut out and put in an envelope that they wanted to buy.
Yeah, and mail-in, Army and Navy, you could do mail-in shopping and things like that. But that was how you did your purchases back in the 60s and things like that. You did phone orders and mail-in orders through catalog shopping, which is really how we do it online now. So it kind of is similar, where you're getting your purchases in the mail still anyway, just in a very different digital form. Okay, so the next question comes from, I'm not sure how to say this, the real D Wolf. Oh yes, I know you. You bought something from me. Yes. So yeah, that is another way. If you see something in a video that we put out and you're like, hey, I'm kind of interested in that piece that you showed, just contact us, and chances are we might still have it, or I could clean it up and get it shipped to you. In this case, we figured out a way that she could just pick it up contactless at our doorstep, and it worked out really cool through e-transfer. So, all right, she asks, I would love to know how you found the house, and if it's something you had been looking to do, as in buy an old house full of stuff for resale, or is it an opportunity that fell in your lap?
Opportunity that fell in the lap.
Yeah, it's really kind of weird how this all came about.
We were not looking for an old home full of stuff.
No. My version of the story, and he doesn't remember it this way, but when COVID started and we couldn't travel the way we were used to in the way that we would like, we kind of were... He started looking for, well, maybe we can buy a cabin somewhere.
And I really want a cabin.
Yeah.
A piece of land.
And here I am, just finishing up a series by another Canadian YouTuber, Curiosity Inc., where he bought a hoarder house, and I've been just yakking at Jason, telling him how interesting this all was. And so I'm like getting this bug in my head and thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be so cool to buy a hoarder house and empty it out? And in the meantime, he's looking at old houses that would be cheap to move off of land, or to put onto a piece of land. And he came across this house here in this little town. And he's like, "Hun, come look at this. You can buy this house for so and so much."
I don't think I said, "Come look at this." I think you were in your crafting room, and I brought it to you.
Yeah, we were looking at the house initially, and I noticed that it was all full of stuff. And I said, oh, well, I don't really care for the house, but look at all that cool old stuff. And nowhere in this listing did it say that the contents were for sale with the house or that it was an estate sale of any sort. It wasn't advertised like that. So he just kind of jokingly said, well, should I call about it? And so I gave him the go ahead. And then he came down into my craft room and he says, it's for sale, contents included. And I'm like, you're kidding me. You're pulling my leg. I thought he was joking. And sure enough, it was. So I think it was 1 or 2 weeks later that we went and looked at it for the first time.
I think so.
Yeah. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And eventually
we looked at it and we said, there's no heat for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it is full of old stuff I don't see big value in. It was cool to see, but the roof was leaking.
Right.
The roof was shot. It needed work. We didn't know to what extent. We didn't know 2 years no heat. The pipes could all be frozen. You could turn the water on.
In that one back bedroom, we saw that
the roof was coming in.
And there was damage to all of the furniture on that one wall, so we didn't know to what extent or what was going to be in the walls.
You couldn't tell because it was full.
And what kind of critters may have been in here. We had no idea.
So I thought, can't remember what they were asking me exactly, but it was like 1/5 of the price is what I would have offered because of all the investment and time investment. We just didn't have time.
Yeah.
We were both work a lot of hours
and initially we just saw value in maybe the contents, not the home itself, because we didn't know what state it was in.
Yeah.
So
and we didn't know what land was worth here. We weren't familiar with this place, this area at all. So I said, if they want that little for it, then we can go ahead. So we offered them 1/5 of the price. That was a big no. So I said, okay, that's our answer. We leave it.
Yeah. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So eventually he surprised me and contacted the realtor without my knowledge and put in another offer.
Double of what we had offered, still less than half of what I felt the home, than what they're asking and what I felt the home. I already at this point thought this is just too much money because of who knows what it's all going to cost to fix. So that offer was declined as well. So did I tell you at this point?
Yes, you did.
I told you I had put double the offer and he still didn't take it. And Rebecca's, I can't stop thinking about it. Yeah. I can't sleep at night. It's like, oh, good grief. It's just a nightmare of work and who knows what we're going to all find. I did not think, and we did not find any money or anything.
No.
It looked like someone was not very well off and lived here for a lot of years.
And they kept absolutely everything. Yeah. Like, we mean everything.
Not hoarder, but just they didn't go buy things to hoard them. They bought things they needed and they just didn't throw anything out.
There was value in everything. And they folded it and put it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she still couldn't stop thinking about it, so we upped the offer to over half of asking. Maybe 2/3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they accepted that offer. There was no will or anything, so it was the husbands, I think, have all passed on that word.
Of this mother
that inherited the house from her mother. All the husbands already, because of the age, had all passed away. So it was just the sister-in-laws and the one original daughter left of the lady that inherited it. So they did accept it, which was way more than we wanted to pay, or I wanted to pay. And we went ahead with the process of purchasing. I'm not sure if this is still answering the question. Or?
Yeah, I think so.
So we called around we haven't bought a home for a long time. So we called around for some lawyer prices, and they were not cheap. And about to give up, really, and thought, well, I wonder if I still have the papers from the home that we built quite a few years ago. And I did, and that lawyer is still, had changed offices, but he was still active and still the same nice guy we remember, and he was really good to us and gave us a reasonable rate. Very, very reasonable, super reasonable. And so we found a lawyer. And then we had to get into, I guess, finding a plumber and all these things. But I guess the deal was done. We got our possession date.
Yeah, and I think that was in the beginning of September 2020. And so we really had to getting into here and getting the water turned on and things figured out.
And everybody we talked to when we started reaching out for lawyer, fire insurance, the people we went with were actually all very interested in it. They knew actually the Curiosity Inc. or they knew of this kind of story, so they all wanted us to link or let us know the YouTube channel so they could watch and it's on your insurance company. What better way for him to follow you? And
no kidding. Hey, can't hide anything.
No.
He's seeing the inside of the house.
Yep. So that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Now we began the process of actually going through the purchase and getting everything set up for hookup, and we thought, well, we'll support local where we can. We went for a ride around the town and found a local plumber. Phoned the plumber up. So again, super nice people, super nice guy.
Roofer and shingler was local.
We found local through the local. The recommendation came through the garbage disposal.
Oh yeah.
The local garbage disposal gave us, I just asked, a roofer, and they had just had work done themselves. So we hired a local roofer, and again, super nice guy. I was here during that time, living in the camper and working on the home or taking things out
during his holidays.
During my holidays. And really good conversations with the roofer, and I prepared dinner one day too, and I asked if he wanted, so he joined me for dinner in the camper, and so there's been a lot of really good experiences with it. I wish it was a little more financially achievable, but really, I guess a good adventure, good experience.
Yeah, it has been a good experience.
It's been a positive experience that way. Yep.
All right, so hopefully that answers your question.
They're lengthy answers.
Yeah, we've taken our sweet time in doing this Q&A, so I guess it's going to be lengthy.
Yeah, it's so busy with life and jobs and COVID and kids, and it's just
and now Christmas is just over, so Jason and I both have between Christmas and New Year off. So this is the time to actually do some of this stuff.
And guess where we are on our holidays, or my holidays.
That's right, hey?
Right here.
All right, next question comes from Lori Haley. Have you guys always been entrepreneurial? I'm very impressed. Well, thank you. But,
well, you maybe more so. Like you've done your crafting stuff, but...
Yeah. Some of you have come over from my crafting channel, but... I've always loved the idea of fixing stuff up and reselling it, but not in houses, because I can't do it. But making stuff and selling it, I am a crafter, and I have done a lot of that over on my other channels. So I don't know if you'd really call that entrepreneurial, but I always love the idea of making something better and reselling it. I hate the thought of stuff going into the garbage. We are in such a throwaway society, and I just cringe at seeing what people throw out. So the thrift stores have always been my friend, whether it's donating or actually shopping at the thrift store. And my daughters, as you may well know, have gotten that from me. So,
Well, we've grown up in homes that we didn't waste.
yeah,
Our parents, there just was very little waste. You look at society now, you look at appliances now, like our home, it's 11 years old now, and I think we've replaced every appliance 4 years after the appliances were new, and we had to replace appliances. And in a world where they say we are so environmentally conscientious, we're worse than ever.
yeah, exactly.
We're terrible.
Well, we're sitting across the kitchen from an oven that is still in perfect working order.
From the 50s?
Yeah, probably the 50s. It's a
Viking.
A Viking.
Viking
Yeah.
Deluxe.
And there's a big crack across the glass screen of it, but every burner works, every element works.
The light works.
The night light works on that oven, and so does the plug-in on top of it, because there is a light.
The dryer, probably 70s, 80s.
And,
it works.
Yeah, and the power and the water has been turned off here. So how cold it got in here those winters is unimaginable. And you plug it in and it works. It's just amazing.
In this day and age where we're so advanced in technology, which seems to would not take those elements, maybe the cold and whatnot, I don't know. But I don't know. We find that we live in a super wasteful society. The garbage dumps are just, the landfills, they are just they're filling up so fast,
and we say we're green. It just doesn't make sense.
we are not.
Yeah.
Even vehicles. You look at the old vehicles. Well, I know these cars go a lot. We drive a lot more, I think, now and they're better on fuel. So, but we just see a lot of waste, a lot of material possessions or waste. Kids' toys.
Yes.
They are just not made like they used to be. There's a lot of waste.
Yeah. So as far as entrepreneurial like business,
Off the topic there.
yeah, we no business school, nothing like that. So our last question today comes from Emery Shea, and I guess we did kind of touch on this question already, but kind of in a different way. I just subscribed a couple of days ago, so I'm not up to speed on everything. Are you going to fix the house to resell? So the other question was asking about like blueprints and stuff, and we're not in any way like going to renovate the house. I don't.
So much,
Yeah,
yeah.
But
We're
fix the house to resell. Yes.
at this time, yeah.
Yeah.
If we had a lot more funds and if we had time, those two things are pretty important. If we had time, man, and we could find a piece of land by a lake or with some bush, and this would make a really cool cabin.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even advertise it that way, that that somebody can buy it and move it off and make a cabin out of it. It has an interesting floor layout, the original hardwood flooring.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's in one of our episodes.
And the original wood trim. The wood trim hasn't been painted. The cabinets, I mean, you could pull them out and put them back in, put a new countertop in there, just sand them down and clean them up. This would make a really cool cabinet. You could redo the attic. I would put that spray foam insulation into it. It's also, I believe, structurally helps the home. And also it just makes perfect sense. But it could, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But now's not the time for us. We just have a lot going on in our lives. There's family to take care of.
Yeah, we still have kids at home and we have grandbabies, and family's got to come first. So we're just here as we can be here, and we're just plugging away. It has been an adventure, and it has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys continue to follow along, even if we're MIA for like a month between videos. I hope that you still stick around and keep subscribed to us. and share the channel, share our adventure with others, comment, like the videos. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. Thank you all so much for all of your kind comments and your questions for this Q&A. And we will leave our eBay store down below. As far as the Vintage Mall, I can leave their Instagram down below, but if you are in the Saskatoon area, definitely go take a peek and a wander about.
It's a very interesting mall.
Yeah.
There's people that have a much better idea of how to set up a booth than we do. We just
very aesthetically pleasing booths.
They are very, yeah. There's people that just have a knack for it. There's one that's my favorite in there, and a lady runs it there, and if I could ever have this home as a cabin, I would want her to do the interior decorating.
Yeah, yeah.
Good ideas.
There are some really nice booths in there and great vintage and antique treasures to be found at the Vintage Mall YXE. So,
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We are heading into 2021 and we'll see what the new year has in store for us. So thanks again, everybody, for commenting, liking, and subscribing to our channel. And I hope you'll stick around for more. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.